氷に閉ざされた獣たちの国、方向轟く東土の地で新たな戦いののろしが上がる。フェイト、グランドオーダー、コスモス・イン・ザ・ロストベルト、永久東土帝国アナスタシア。
Oh, I'm not used to this yet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back! Fate Grand Order. We're moving on to the first Lost Belt of the Cosmos in the Lost Belt. That's what we're doing. So we're gonna do it. Oh, this is so cool! It's so different! I thought I saw... There was one time when I saw someone who posted like a screenshot of the menu. I'm like, that looks different. I wonder if that's just how Japan is. And it's like, nope. Oh, we're not going to read the spoilers for this, but I do want to see the fact that there will be, yeah, 3 Saint Quartz. I think they've already reached that probably. I'm not going to watch that because, ooh, I do not want to look at the spoilers. So let's head on into the Permafrost Empire, Anastasia. And so our history came to an end. It's been 90 days since the invasion from space began. In that time, the entire planet has been wiped Oh! Well, that a lot happened off screen, huh? We've been fighting back for 3 months. 3 long, arduous months. Every single attempt ended in failure. Of course they did. We had all kinds of security measures in place to deal with other countries. We were completely unprepared for an invasion from outer space, which is, you know, understandable. The United States fought hard to the last man, but even so, they only lasted a matter of days. With no other options left to them, all the few remaining humans could do was stand by and stare around, dumbfounded, at the endless stretch of nothingness. Everyone resigned themselves to the fact that each passing day could well and truly be their last. But not me. I just couldn't let it end like this. So I turned my back on the campsite and walked away like a petulant child, casting a deaf ear to the people offering up their final prayers. Before me I saw a vast wasteland of endless white. Any trace of humanity had been erased. This was in the, Lost Room, actually. Yeah, this endless white space. The white sand, yeah. We no longer had any hope for survival, let alone of turning the tide. Nothing we tried had even the slightest effect. In this wasteland, I searched through old records like a raccoon pawing through garbage. I managed to find an old motorcycle with barely enough fuel for a one-way trip, began riding across the blinding white wasteland. It's just, nothing about this makes sense. There are so many unanswered questions. If I'm going to die, I at least want to know why. I can accept an alien invasion. I can accept the end of the world. But I can't accept not knowing why they invaded us or how. The invasion lasted a good 90 days. There must have been some kind of sign leading up to it. Someone must have seen this coming. Or maybe someone knew this was coming and decided to let it happen. How did the invaders first make their way to Earth to begin with? Someone needs to figure out at least that much, or humanity will never be able to rest in peace. So I'll keep exploring until I find a lead. Some sort of a clue that could lead me to the answers I seek. Who is speaking here? This recording just might be me talking to myself, but still, there's every chance that this is the last document remaining on Earth. My name is David. David Bluebook? Who? I'm an oddball setting off on the last trip of his life, searching for answers in a world where I'll be lucky to see tomorrow. Bluebook? God, Type Moon is so bad with names. Zona Militar. I don't know what language it is. Researcher's Log 2018. 18 hours have passed since the events we observed in New Mexico. At last, Subject E has been relocated to this base. Honestly, I could barely contain my excitement. This is the biggest thing to happen since the Roswell UFO incident in 1947. Oh my god, we're going full aliens! I have no idea how it ended up making an emergency landing on the planet, and I don't care. What I do know is that our visitor is at death's door. It needs our help if it's going to survive. Is it going to be sexy alien lady, or is it going to be like goo, or is it going to be like just looking like a human? I also know that it's an intelligent life form and is nothing like us humans. Its form beggars belief. That's yeah, that's technically right. Beggar is technically a verb also. Thank goodness for the boundless capability of the human imagination. This visitor from a distant world looks exactly like the sort of thing one would see in a horror movie. Are we talking like... I don't know. My orders are to perform surgery on this new friend from beyond the stars to save its life and hopefully establish communication. I'm literally trembling with excitement. My entire staff and I are eager to begin our work. This will be a difficult operation, but we will save it. This will be by far the most fulfilling work I've ever done. How could I not see that it succeeds? My only regret is that I won't be able to share these discoveries with the outside world. This project is as classified as they come, and who knows if it'll ever be disclosed to the public. Until then, we must continue to nurse it back to health in secret here in this underground facility. It is here that I must study this strange new life form. These tree roots come to life. Is it the mommy or is it something else? Prologue intro 1, okay? Let's go. Round table. Oh my god, the sci-fi table. Oh, this is cool cut-ins. I like this. It has been 90 days, 3 full months since the Tree of Emptiness took root. The world has been successfully rewritten with the Lostbelts. The felling theoretical phenomenon is complete. Let us take a moment to celebrate this milestone. None of this would be possible without each of your devoted efforts. You have ears like a vampire. Are you a lost apostle? You're giving us way too much credit, Kirstaria. None of us have done anything worth celebrating yet. The foreign god did all the work, invading and rewriting history and all the world and all that. The foreign god? Okay. All we've done is keep our Lostbelt kings in good spirits. The work's only just starting, yeah? You don't get it, Meryl. Stabilizing the Lostbelts and growing the tree are one and the same. Lord Kirstaria is telling us to devote ourselves to maintaining our contracts with the Lostbelt servants. Particularly masters like you who treat this like some kind of game. Whoa, easy there, Ophelia. Looks really can kill when you're given one. That aside, Lord Kirstaria, huh? Changed a bit since you woke up, haven't you? And don't worry, I won't give you too much shit about that. I get why you cling to someone under these circumstances. But as long as we're on the subject, let me make something clear here. I've never been more serious in my life. We already died once. Think I don't know better than to treat this like a game? This foreign god person might have resuscitated us this time, but I don't see it happening a second time. So you better believe me that I want to get things taken care of while I'm still kicking. After all, you can only enjoy stealing and killing while you're alive. Don't you agree, David? Is David supposed to be David? Because David is such a stupid name. Indeed, you cannot experience a sensation that accompanies the methodical killings from the confines of the coffin. Happily, our respective regions are quite primitive, so we are afforded plenty of opportunities for that experience now. You said it, they keep coming at us, practically begging us to kill them. Not a lot of time to screw around, huh? I see, I feel sorry for your lost belts. Kadok?
Pepperoncino, what's the matter, Kadok? Meryl is his usual self and you seem a bit off. What's bothering you? Oh, Pepperoncino. You look dreadful. Oh my, those bags under your eyes. Have you not been sleeping? Is it just that you're under lots of stress, Pepperoncino?
Both. Never mind me. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
I'm sorry, you know I can't do that, Kadok. If you really want me to leave you be, then at the very least, I need to see a smile from you. How could I not be sad seeing a friend so down in the dumps? I can't help worrying about you, whatever you may think on the subject. Understand, if you really want to be alone, you need to be strong enough to handle it. And if you're letting your stress show like that, then you clearly aren't. Why not try relieving a bit of the stress with a bit of fun?
This is where people are like, no, you don't get it. It's actually, you're supposed to do this voice because he's supposed to be like this. And all I know is his name is
Pepperoncino. And he's Italian. This suggestion won't win points for originality, but how about some tea? I found some great tea leaves here in my own Lostbelt.
Oh, tea leaves in the Lostbelt.
I'd be so happy to let you have some. I bet the Grand Duchess would be delighted as well.
None of your business, I swear. You just don't change no matter what happens, do you, Pepe?
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere. I must say that wasn't bad, Kadok.
I'm not praising you, that was an insult. Sheesh, how come you're not telling this guy not to treat this like a game, Ophelia? Pepperoncino's different. He's always like this.
Exactly, he doesn't listen to what people tell him. Just think about that weird nickname he picked for himself. He's dyed-in-the-wool optimistic, or maybe a natural-born outlaw. Either way, you don't want to see him get serious, you know? He'd only ever show his true colors if the shit really hit the fan, like the apocalypse or something.
Oh, you mean like what's happening now?
Actually, scratch that, maybe not even then.
No more wasting our time. Krishtaria, what do you want to talk about? We've already reported in about our Lostbelts. Mine isn't fit for territory expansion, and I have no intention of competing with the rest of you. If you want to fight over who gets to rule this planet, knock yourselves out. Did I not already tell you all this?
You think we buy that? You can't just shut yourself away and sit this one out, Akuda. Akuda Matata. In the end, we're gonna have to choose a single Lostbelt. If you give up on expanding your Lostbelt's territory, it'll just be a matter of time till another Lostbelt invades it. Huh. You really just want to lose by default? You're okay with that?
Yes, I am, and if my Lostbelt ends up disappearing, I'm fine with that too. This time, I just want to stay there right up to the end. As long as I'm satisfied, I'll go along with the rest of the cryptors.
So you don't give a shit about this power struggle thing, huh? I can't blame you. We all know who's gonna win anyway. Krishtarius could beat all of us put together with one hand tied behind its back. This whole game to figure out who's gonna be the king of the earth has been rigged from the start. I mean, you should see how bad mine and David's Lostbelts are. There's no way these are possibilities for how humanity would turn out. There's not a damn thing wrong with Krishtaria's Lostbelt. Hell, things might even be better there than in the proper human history. No fair, right? I swear he was already a favorite to Rin before he even got started. Now accounting for the luck of a born nobleman, huh?
You look like a Fire Emblem character. Meryl, hold your tongue. Lord Krishtaria conquered that city entirely on his own means. Why else do you think he has no fewer than 3 divine spirits? Oh my god! You will hold your tongue as well, Ophelia. Meryl is not incorrect. But it's all right. It is plain to all that I will emerge the victor. No comments about how I will go about claiming my inevitable victory will change that. Now then, hologram or not, I did not call you all here today to go over your Lostbelt's growth. An hour ago, one of my servants foretold the appearance of a spirit origin graph and a round circle. Aren't all circles round? I cannot think of a more redundant name than a round circle. I get it, they're not calling it a round table because for summoning it doesn't have to be the table, but still the round circle, come on, that the spirit origin graph belongs to Chaldea, while the round circle no doubt refers to Mash Curia Light's shield. That means they are finally about to re-emerge from the void space following their escape from Antarctica. So they're still alive even after 3 whole months spent wandering void space.
I see, and if the Koyanskaya went to all the trouble to have the Mage Association appoint a new director who should be easy to manipulate. Perhaps you made the wrong choice, Wodheim. My servant could have destroyed the entire base, you know.
No, our plan was the best option available. Chaldea's defenses may not have been airtight, but they were formidable nonetheless. In order for us to take control, it was necessary to convince Chaldea to let us in willingly, by disguising ourselves as staff, and then shut down Chaldeus from within.
Oh!
So these guys weren't just good and then poof bad. No, they were bad from the start. Had we done things differently, the Chaldeans would have simply ray-shifted away and stopped us. Koyanskaya's plan was well conceived. With the benefit of hindsight, the only issue is that a certain servant did not act of their own accord, but that is hardly Kadok's fault. After all, of the 3 servants who served as the foreign gods' envoys, neither the priest nor Koyanskaya were our own.
So, do you know where the Chaldeans are going to show up? So does that imply that the 3 servants, that Kirei is a heroic spirit, huh? Are we getting a
Demi-servant Kodomine Kire? Oh my god. Lamentably, my servant's predictions did not reach that far into the future. All I know is that they will emerge in a matter of hours.
That's it? So what? We're just supposed to get back to our posts and keep an eye out for...
They'll emerge in Russia, inside the Lostbelt. How do you know about that? Simple logic, how else? The only thing they know about Earth as it is now is the identities of the servants who attacked Chaldea. That's their only possible connection for emerging from void space. For them, the Oprichniki are both a threat and a means to determine their destination. So it all comes down to retribution, huh? We've got them good, so now they want to get us back, which means they'll be gunning for me first and foremost. Perhaps. Anyway, if they are the kind of people to seek revenge, that will make them easier to deal with.
Out for vengeance, huh? Man, that's rough. I doubt you'll be able to talk your way out of that one. I know, how about I help you out, Kadok? You don't really want to go in for all that rough and tumble stuff, do you? You want I can play teacher for you, show you how it's done.
Hard pass, stick to your own Lostbelt. I get enough faux big brother shit from Pepe. Wow, the writing here is so improved. The writing here is like, just like for real, when I'm talking about this, like when I'm reading this, all I can think is, damn, we've come a long way since the first couple parts, right?
Come on, I really am concerned for you, know? Besides, Pepperoncino's more like our old man than our big bro. But fine, if you're set on doing this yourself, I can respect that. Good luck handling this yourself, Kadok. Go show the Grand Duchess what you're made of.
What I'll say right now, already off the bat, is I see a parallel to a JRPG party with this guy as the main character, this guy is the best friend, and then like the rest making up the party, if you will. Like, this is a knockoff Persona cast. Do you see what I mean?
Just don't push yourself too hard, alright? If things start to look dicey, don't be afraid to bail. We're just competing. We're not enemies. We got no use for a crypter who's lost their Lostbelt. You want to just live out your life in peace, nobody's going to stop you. Right, Wodime?
And this guy was the one who was villain for 90% of the game, then reluctantly joined you. Kadok, as you know, we all have consented to a non-aggression pact. As cryptors, our goal is to expand our respective Lostbelt's territories. Eventually, our Lostbelt's borders will clash, and one will inevitably be consumed. Thus will the Lostbelt with the strongest foundation of humanity feed upon the weaker ones. But it is in that clash, and only in that clash, that a cryptor may interfere with another cryptor's Lostbelt. If Chaldea does appear in Russia, then it falls to the king of Russia's Lostbelt to deal with them. Our duty is the reconstruction of humanity within our Lostbelts, to build a world where humans and gods can once more coexist in harmony. So they want to bring, okay, they want to bring back the Age of Gods. Yep. Okay. Yep. Now that the foreign gods' invasion has ended, the task of disposing of Chaldea is extraneous at best. It is, at this stage, nothing more than a chore. Still, I suppose I must admit they remain a hindrance. They do have a great deal of experience overturning worlds. Kadok, I look forward to seeing what you are capable of. Eliminate this nuisance and grow Russia's tree as quickly as you can. Succeeding in the latter should make the former markedly easier. For my part, I would like to see the Lostbelts realize their full potential, for each is the potential of humanity itself. It would be a travesty for one of them to end before its history has had a chance to flourish. You don't have to tell me. I'm here to win as much as any of you. This is where I sign off. If Chaldea's coming for me, I'll be there to greet them. I'm going to head back to the throne as well. My king's thirst for exploration and conquest is insatiable. There's no telling what sort of trouble he might get into if I leave him alone for too long. At this point, I'm like mega ultra giga blind. All I know is a little bit about Lostbelt 1, being Russia and the Tsar, but I don't know anything else about anything, really.
Right then, I'll be off. Let me know if Russia sends out an SOS. Alright, I must say though, you certainly seem happy about this, Meryl. You must get off seeing Kadok struggling. Now, what sort of heartless bastard do you take me for, Pepperoncino? I'm actually worried about him, you know? I was an only child, so I like to think of him as the little brother I never had.
Why would I want to see him die? I just want to be a good big brother and look out for him. See, you're acting like a really nice person, but you have the ears and the teeth of a dead apostle, so I don't trust you. Besides, I'm thrilled to hear that is still alive. Huh? I haven't been this happy since I broke into their ICU. Dr. Roman kicked me up before I could have a bit of fun together back then. But now there's no one left to get in the way. What? I'm thrilled to hear that MASH is still alive, maybe? Their ICU kicked me... Oh, God! Oh, God. You never mind. No, then again, honestly, not far off from like a Yosuke or a Junpei. Goodness me, I don't know what we're gonna do about him. Anyway, I'd best be signing off too. Something doesn't seem right on my end either. But while you're here, David, there's something I'd like to ask you about regarding my report. What do you think about the cube in my Lostbelt? Cube? I have little information to go on. Do you want my thoughts? Of course, I would so love to hear your assessment. I think that thing is your Achilles heel. The weakest of weak points for you and your Lostbelt. If Odime and I had your Lostbelt, it'd be the first thing to get rid of. But in your particular case, Pepperoncino, I would leave it alone. That's just who you are. Is it the moon cell? I don't know. So I don't... To be honest, I don't know much about Fate Extra yet, so I haven't played it. But all I know is that there's a cube. I think the cube is the moon? I see. Then maybe I'll wait and see how it goes. Though personally, I'd love to cut it out right now. Alright, I'm signing off for next meetings a month from now, yes? See you then. Each of the other cryptors has returned to their posts. Are you sure this is for the best, Lord Kirshtaria? Truthfully, I doubt Kadok is up to the task of maintaining Russia's Lostbelt. The Russian King's spirit origin strength is on par with a divine spirit servant. You may be able to control him, Lord Kirshtaria, but there is no way Kadok can. And if the remnants of Chaldea show up there and start making trouble, there's no telling what might happen to Russia's Lostbelt. Are you worried about Kadok's Lostbelt might be destroyed before it can become food for the others, Ophelia? No, it's not that, it's just the way he was behaving left me with a bad feeling. And there are times when he prioritizes the Grand Duchess's wishes over our objective. So, his rather ordinary nature has backfired. Very well, you do have a point. Canis, it is time to make use of your sea-crossing authority. You will head for Russia and observe Kadok's actions. If he has indeed turned his back on our mission, you will see to his punishment. Canis. Yo, you're hot. Are you kidding me, Master? You're really sending me out, the great Canis, out to do housekeeping? Canis. And all 'cause this woman won't leave you alone? What sort of heroic spirit do you take me for? A trustworthy one, naturally. You may be coarse, but that is only your pride. And since I have bested you in combat fair and square, I know you will not renege on your promise to me. I like words no one uses. Nor will you renounce your previous statements depending on the situation, unlike the gods. Unless I am mistaken, and you are in fact just as fickle as they are. He's got something to say, don't you, human? What a pompous, weak-kneed, pretentious scumbag. Fine, I'll be your little lapdog. But you think I'm gonna forget about this humiliation? You got another thing coming. My luck. No, the gods' luck must have run out there I lost to you. I'm gonna babysit the situation with humans struggling to fight back? Fine, I will. Can't believe you're using Canis, the divine spirit. It's nothing more than an envoy. I'm not going to Google anything about these guys because I feel like they're getting too close into fate. Are you sure about sending Canis away like this, Lord Kirshtaria? Isn't he or she your bodyguard? It is of no consequence. That is why I made a contract with Canis in the first place. I trust him to be my eyes. Him! Okay, we got a Mordred situation. From here on out, I'll also be having him monitor the continent. I will also have him stop by your Lostbelt as well. I advise you to take caution when he does. As you know, he is not overly fond of women like yourself, which is ironic. If you offend him, he may end up just erasing your Lostbelt's king and all. I'm not so sure about that. My Lostbelt's king is certainly a deal more subdued than Russia's, yes. However, her power is easily a match for divine spirits. On top of that, I have the strongest knight to ever live in my charge. Strongest knight, huh? Are you the round table one? We gonna see some Morgana? I can't imagine either of them have anything to fear, even from the divine spirit Canis. I see, then I suppose I should say nothing more. The fate of your Lostbelt will have an impact on mine as well. If possible, I would prefer that our respective Lostbelts be the last two remaining in our competition. Our victory may be inevitable, but some manners of winning are better than others, and my victory must want for nothing. I expect great things from you, Ophelia. I need as many capable compatriots as possible. Yes, Lord Kirshtaria. I promise I won't let you down. She's like the childhood friend character. Right? You see that? Okay. The roots of cosmic fantasy have descended upon us. The advent of the foreign god is at hand. After 3 months, the Lostbelts have finished their rewrites. Both this planet and the next generation of human history now belong to us. But that is not enough. I will not be satisfied with that alone. The sages from proper human history abandoned humans in their naivete. He who called himself the King of Mages first pitied humanity, but soon washed his hands of them. But not me. I will never relax my grip. It has been 2,000 years since mystics disappeared, when the foundations of the world were passed on to mankind. Now I will attempt to reach a world that no sage ever could. I will attempt to enact an idea that no mage has ever conceived. Just you watch, Meryl Atmosphere. Watch as I achieve what you only ever dared dream of. And of course it comes back to mages being scumbags. It's all it ever comes down to, huh? Where is this? Where are we? Hi, you're still just chilling, huh? Like, what are you? What do you do? You give me a Saint Quartz. Thank you very much for that. Empire of Beasts. Okay. Weird that there's no map. That's very strange. I guess it's because of the fact that there's no world left, right? Also, we get a treasure chest right away? Huh. Section 1, Lostbelt. Empire of Beasts. Oh god. That made me jump. There we go. Damn, it's really getting bad out here. But I still smell 3 of them. If I don't take them out soon, I'll be starved to death this winter for sure. I'm just giving a Russian accent because I'm guessing, but let's stop until it's probably going to be a chick, probably. Guess I'll have to hang in there a little longer. Ah. Damn, it's a Krishat. I don't even know who this is. Damn it, you little... Die! Die! Go to hell! Huff huff. Damn it, what a waste. God damn, now its brains are leaking out. It's time to pack it in. Damn it, I'm so hungry. I really don't want to starve to death. Who is this? Whoa, was that an earthquake? Is that one of the big guys? If it was, I guess I don't have to worry about starving to death. God damn, it's so cold. It's never this cold. I can't tell if the Upshaniki are listening or not as usual. Looks like it's going to be a especially harsh winter. On a different note, what the hell's up with that tree? Almost looks like a giant tower. Huh. In this version of history, demonic beasts have been present since the very beginning. Humanity here evolved along a particularly unique route in order to combat both the beasts and the perpetual blizzard that shrouded the land. In this world, there is nothing worse than weakness. To die is to admit defeat. Here, strength is justice, and justice strength. It is a world of permafrost where the notion of might makes right has taken to its logical conclusion. And now, Tanner's companions are about to set foot in this alternate history. So I'm trying to figure out if they're, like, fully alternate histories, or if they're like alternate histories that have been pasted onto the Earth. Like, have we gone back in time, or are these alternate places that are literally being put onto the Earth to expand? I don't know. Anyways, hey, new music. This feels like I started Fate Grand Order 2. Like, the music, the new animations, like, the better graphics, it feels like I've started the sequel. Foo! Foo! Morning, Foo. Foo! Foo, foo, foo. Bye, dude. Ugh. It's been a week since that all went down. I think I'm finally getting used to my room here. My what there is of a room. Foo foo. Good morning, Senpai. Are you awake? Yep. Oh, good. Then I hope you don't mind if I come in. I brought you some breakfast. Where do we get food from? Of course, we still only have rations. Okay. And only enough for another 6 days, too. Better than nothing. Thanks, Mash. Open up a MRE kit. We're still continuing our zero sale. It's been about a week since we embarked. Fortunately, the enemy organization that took over Caldia doesn't seem to have followed us here. But I wish I knew how long this was going to continue. Time is one of the fundaments of our universe. But time doesn't intrinsically have a past or future. Those are just axes we came up with to help us keep track of it. As long as time goes on, a little shake-up before or after won't make any difference. But here in void space, time doesn't go on. We won't suffer the effects of age as long as we stay here, and we also won't know what happened once we emerge into normal space. We might return at exactly the instant we left. We might find we've gone back for hundreds of years. I wouldn't be surprised if we just aged instantly as soon as we exit the void space. Just like when Urashima Terao opened the Tamate Bako. I actually get that cultural reference. So we're not going to surface? No, we will, but first we need to ensure it'll be safe to do so. That's not stopping Director Gordolf from demanding to surface at 7 o'clock every morning, but still. In fact, it's about that time right now. Should we go to the cockpit, Senpai? How big is this thing, I wonder? Foo-foo! I guess it's big enough that there's rooms. I must say I was relieved to find out that the Shadow Border's interior is more spacious than it looks from the outside. Davinci says she managed to give it twice as much room by warping its internal space. Oh, it's like Tosaka's chest. You heard me right. If you don't get that reference, you're not a Fate fan. Thanks to that, we have just enough living facilities to cover the bare necessities. I do feel a little bad that all 4 staff members have to share one room, though. Foo-foo. Thank you for your concern, Foo. I have special needs as a demi-servant, so I'm staying in the treatment room by myself. As for the other private rooms, oh yes, Director Goldorf was staying in the captain's quarters. Davinci has her own capsule in the computer room, and Holmes seems to be sleeping in the workshop. Kyufu! We also have air conditioning, a storage room, and an armory, although the new director has prohibited us from going in there. And since we have 2 large cruisers worth of space, Davinci and Holmes were able to make the cockpit/bridge several meters wide. Alright, let's head to the cockpit now. Oh god, what am I looking at?
Enough of this nonsense, you family excuse for a detective? Why do you insist on keeping us here? We must be in a safe zone by now.
It is, as I said, a more difficult question than you seem to realize. We must first discuss how we might even define a safe zone. For example, can we say that we are safe here in void space thanks to a lack of enemies in our vicinity? I'm afraid that answer is a resounding no. For that matter, there are no enemies to be found in void space. Consequently, we need not concern ourselves with attempts at pursuit. No, what we must concern ourselves with is a threat far greater, one that quite literally surrounds us. In other words, my good music, the question is not one of when we should emerge, but of how.
You mean to tell me it's not even possible for us to leave? How can you be so blasé about such a nightmarish prospect?
Looks like Holmes, the new director, are getting along nicely, Senpai. I'm almost sorry to interrupt them. Good morning, everyone. Tanner and Match Curelite reporting in for the latest status update. Morning.
Good morning, you two. Have you already had breakfast?
Yes, thank you. I had an Italian cuisine ration myself, and Senpai's just about to have his.
Oh no! So you lower Oh, so you lower-level employees are stuck with rations, eh? How sad. I had a plate of warm French toast and tea with extra milk myself. It is, of course, important to my role as captain. The captain needs a lot of calories to have enough energy to keep the crew together.
I swear, who do you think you are, hogging all the halfway decent non-perishables for yourself?
Nothing wrong with that. The quality of one's diet has a pronounced effect on one's mental state, after all. Those who are unwilling to endure discomfort should make every effort to eat well on a daily basis. Besides, a hot cup of tea is a small price to pay if it helps eliminate the greatest source of disorder in our little community. Don't you agree, Mr. Meunier?
Well, I can't argue with that, especially when the guy who's less willing to deal with discomfort than anyone is actually managing it.
You mean me? Not to worry, I still have a store of my own little remedy to fall back on. If the time ever comes when I need to calm my nerves, it should do the trick nicely. Why, I can keep going like this for a month. It's not tea in there, it's weed. What do you think is in this pipe?
Foo!
Oh, never mind how strong your willpower is. You still haven't answered my question, Holmes. You just told me that you refuse to emerge, but we can't emerge. What did you mean by that? And remember, I've appointed you Collier's new administrative advisor. How about you show a little gratitude for the appointment and tell me exactly what's going on?
I'm not normally particularly concerned with titles, but I must say being an administrative advisor has been a novel experience. To be honest, I'm rather excited to be exercising my own untapped talents to meet this job's demands.
How did that end up happening? Does Director Gordolf have a death wish or something? Well, he's already got Davinci serving as his technical advisor, right? He probably just appointed Holmes to administrative stuff because he doesn't have any other managers to help him right now.
I can hear you, you know. Now come on, Holmes, out with it. We're going to survive, or aren't we?
I'm afraid survive is too broad a term for me to prepare a satisfactory answer, but I can at least outcome the possible results of our emergence. Strictly speaking, it's not that we cannot emerge, rather we have nowhere to emerge to. At the present moment, we are voyaging across the void space, a world existing on a negative vector, to put it another way. So in order to return to reality, we need a connection to it. An anchor, if you will. Fortunately, anything should be able to serve as an anchor for long as it exists in reality. So as long as someone here has some connection, we should be able to escape from this void space. However, we are unable to do so at this time, which means the world itself has been utterly wiped clean.
That's ridiculous. What do you mean wiped clean? There's nothing left anywhere? I'm certainly willing to admit that it was terrifying seeing those meteoroids. I suppose they were falling to Earth while we were in Antarctica. Given their size, the impacts must have been absolutely devastating. No doubt the destruction was many times worse than the Tunguska event. Terrible as that may be, there is simply no way that there might have been a cataclysm capable of wiping off every nation off the face of the Earth. And of course, let us not forget the clock tower. London's clock tower has been around for millennia. It is the greatest bastion of magecraft in existence, guarded by hundreds of defense mechanisms. There's no way it could possibly be destroyed.
Did you just not believe what happened with the Mist City?
With all due respect, Gordolf, I'm afraid the Mage Association in London has been destroyed as well. Every single nation, all destroyed. With the exception of us here, the entirety of humanity has been wiped from existence. Or at least so Kirshdaria Woodheim believes. Otherwise, he never would have made that proclamation.
That's impossible. What could possibly be destroyed that easily? It could possibly. Right? You'll agree, don't you? Why are you looking so glum? Stop that. Tanner. You may be a cheeky little bastard, but I tell you, your sensibility is much more in line with my own. Go on then, you tell them. Tell them Holmes is making this all up or wrong or something.
Gordolf, my dude, you need to face the facts.
Don't tell me you're serious about this, too. Do you like me? Phoo. It can't be. There really is nothing at all left on Earth? Not even my beloved Hawaii? Or the Monaco Grand Prix? Or the racetrack I always dreamed of visiting one day? The Suzuka Circuit? This is terrible, but then again, this could be our chance to create a brand new organization for Major from scratch. What do you all think? But life gives you lemons, right?
How do we do that when all the rest of humanity's been wiped out? But if you want to make an association of one, go nuts, old man.
I am not old. I may have a year or two on you, but I'm still a dashing specimen in the prime of my youth.
All that said, we do have one possible exit point. There is something on Earth to which we both have a connection, and that has a solid chance of existing. The Oprichniki.
That word is hard.
The black-garbed army that attacked Caldia.
We know of them, and they know of us. And that makes an almost complete connection between our two groups. If we were to emerge now, we would most likely do so wherever they currently are. I mean, we'd end up at their HQ.
I see. Right into the heart of enemy territory, eh? That would be extremely dangerous.
Yes, it would. But we can't stay here in void space forever. The Shadow Border's reserves are running low. We're almost out of food, water, power. Indeed, we need to emerge soon no matter what. But I would like to do so at the best possible time. Fortunately, we have the Paper Moon, a compass capable of measuring standard space and void space simultaneously. We've been using it all the time to look for a comparatively safe location whenever we emerge, which is to say, an area devoid of hostiles. Isn't that right, Davinci? I take it you're about done by now?
Good morning, everyone. It's me, Davinci. No need to fill me in. I've been listening along this whole time. In fact, whenever I'm actually acting as the computer's bio unit, I can see everything that happens inside the Shadow Border star. So don't go thinking you can keep any secrets from me, Gordolph. That goes for you too, Holmes.
That's worrying.
Now then, I've got my eye on an area crawling with Ophelia. I've also gone ahead and plotted a course to emerge there. As luck would have it, we're nearing a current that should do the trick nicely. If we head that way now, we could hitch a ride and be carried along that course in about 5 minutes. If we miss that wave, we'll have to wait 10 days for the next one. By that time, the Shadow Border will be almost completely out of power. So what I'm getting at is, if we're going to emerge, it's now or never. You got it. That's what I like to hear, Tanner. Make sure to stop by and thank me for being so amazing later. Incidentally, according to the Paper Moon, this wave will bring us back to standard space approximately 90 days after we left. So that means we'll be emerging around early April in the year 2020. Man, we really lucked out. One wrong move and we could have ended up a wave to take us there 100 years later. If we'd emerged into a standard space then, it'd probably be way too late to do anything.
Slow down. You mean a few days difference can affect our exit time that much? Is it normal for zero sail travel? If we emerge 100 years later, the music residence will be no more than a ruin. You can't do that to my house.
Notice how much quicker he is to grasp stuff when it affects him directly. Try to remember that everything on Earth has already been destroyed. Now then, it seems we are faced with a decision. The perfect wave on which we can ride to re-enter reality is nearly upon us. Are you prepared to take it? There's no telling what the world will look like when we get there. All we can say for certain at this point is that we will be emerging on the Oprychniki's home turf. We are very likely to be attacked the moment we appear, even so.
Let's stay the course.
I couldn't agree more. I knew I saw potential in you.
Uh-oh. What was that, Mr. Meunier? I don't know. We collided with something, and now the left screw is shut down. We found the void space's border wall. The collision has damaged our armor. Part of the logic formula is missing.
What did you say? The armor's been damaged? Why did you impoverished fools use such cheap materials? If I had my fortune, money could have been no object.
He must have spent all his money acquiring Caldia.
This certainly isn't good. We can't maintain this vehicle's balance anymore. Looks like this is it for our maiden zero sail. At least we should still be able to raise the bow and re-enter standard space, but after that I think we'll need to step outside to make repairs. Gordolph?
No, you can't. We'll just get surrounded by Oprychniki again. If those are our choices, better just stay here. The next wave will be here soon, then we...
No, it won't. If we stay here, we'll end up starving to death. I believe we'd find that a far more painful end than dying in battle.
You're there, demi-servant. What do you think?
Me? Well, I'll go along with whatever Master decides. If we end up surrounded by enemy forces, we can cross that bridge when we come to it.
Not you two. You're supposed to be the meek little girl who would partly agree with authority. Are you all Caldians adventure-crazed nuts?
All done talking. Let's go catch ourselves a wave.
I didn't agree to that. Let me get my seatbelt on. All hands take your seats. You are not to get incapacitated under any circumstances. That goes for you too, Tanner. As long as you're strapped in, you won't suffer any serious injuries. Trust me, I speak from experience.
Activating Paper Moon. Initiating Planet Navigational Chart +- Convergence. Commencing Shadow Border's docking sequence into Reality Boundary. Firing Existence Verification Tether into Reality Space. Oprychniki Anchor Point confirmed. What's going to happen?
Nobody knows. Nobody can even guess. So we must be prepared for anything. The only way we'll learn what awaits us when we emerge is to see it for ourselves.
Emerging from void space, 30 seconds until arrival in reality space. Zero sail complete, emerging into reality space.
Shoutouts to these like Mega Man jacking in, jacking out animations. Lostbelt number 1, Depth D. Permafrost Empire Anastasia, the Grand Duchess of the Beast Nation. Which is not that much different from regular Russia, from what I'm hearing. Crazed soldiers, horrible monsters, endless snow. That's Russia. I don't see much difference. Alright, no battles again, which is surprising. Well. We alive, guys? Reality space anchor attached. Reality verification complete. Establishing Shadow Border's existence. Zero sail return successful.
I say! I'm alive! I'm alive! My limbs have never felt so solid. It's like I've gained several kilograms since we were in void space.
Attention, an armor plate came loose during re-entry. Further zero sails currently impossible. Please replenish materials and food supplies and perform regular repairs and tune-ups on the Shadow Border to ensure safe travels.
I see. It's wonderful the Shadow Border held up this well, given the less than ideal circumstances in which we...
We did it! We're back on Earth! We can go outside, fresh air at last! I know, I wonder what it's like outside now. We're not bobbing around, so we're probably on land.
Quit shoving. I know how you feel, but I can't unlock the door until you settle down. Let's see. First we release this bolt. Well now, I suppose I ought to have expected this. Who wouldn't be curious about the state of the world now, given the circumstances? It is, after all, our home. We have fought so hard to protect it. The miracle of our return from such a perilous voyage no doubt pales in comparison. Indeed, I would expect nothing less from Caldia's staff, though I must say it's a tad too dazzling for me to view directly. Everyone's rushing toward the cockpit's emergency exit. Are you sure we don't want to join them, Senpai? You better believe I'm gonna go check it out right away. Not you too, Tanner. Damn it, what about me? Is it okay if I leave the monitor for a while, Holmes? I want to see what it's like out there with my own 2 eyes. I'm sorry, Mr. Vigna, but someone has to stay here and keep an eye on the monitor. After all, I too have been waiting with bated breath to see what lies on the other side of that door. Is that so? Fine, what do I care? I'm just a sad little lonely geek anyway. When Yer always gets the shaft, so why should things change now? I hate how if you give this dude black hair, not only does he act like me, but he looks like me. And I hate it. And it's a problem.
The emergency exit is opening. Senpai, we're finally going to have some natural light. The light? It's freezing.
How very cold it is. My coat is frosting over. Quick, close the door.
Yes, sir. Yeah, let's turn off the AC, guys.
Brr, I thought it was done for. But that snowfield we saw for a brief moment.
Man, that was a close one. Good thing I cranked up the heat. Is everyone okay? You should know better than to just open the door the moment we stop in some strange part of the world. I just realized she gets a tiny bird, too. I trust you've all learned your lesson, yes? No going outside after a zero sail until we finish checking the conditions around the anchor point. Failing to follow that protocol could be hazardous to your health. Now you're all ready to hear my report? Yes, I'm terribly sorry for acting carelessly. So what's going on with that blizzard? It's perfectly ordinary blizzard, just like the ones we're all well acquainted with by this point. There's no atmospheric pollution and no hostiles in the area. Presently, the Shadow Border is smack dab in the middle of a blizzard. The odd bit is that it's up 100 degrees below zero out there. Would you guys believe me if I told you that that is a slightly colder than average winter here? So if you plan to go outside and want to live more than a couple minutes, you'll need some serious cold protection. And if that wasn't enough, take a look at this footage.
What is that? Is that an aurora and a storm? It looks like a massive supercell. How am I supposed to figure out the scale here with no frame of reference? It does look rather large, but...
Oh, it's big, all right. Ready to have your minds blown? The storm is literally endless. It covers every inch of Russia like a wall around the entire world. And the aurora blocks all kinds of electromagnetic waves, so it's completely impossible to break through. I can tell that some of you want to write it off as just a storm, but you really shouldn't. This storm can tear steel apart, level entire cities, and even destroy the world as we know it. No wonder people thought of it as a god during the Age of Gods. Remember, storms are the single most powerful source of naturally produced energy on the planet. And one this massive is bound to be raging around with all the energy of a nuclear bomb. It stretches as far as the eye can see. Humanity has yet to invent anything in the way of a vehicle capable of breaking through a storm like this. Nothing could get through this storm. No weapon, no vehicle, nothing. Which means that even once we get the shadow border up and running, we won't be able to leave this place. In short, we are trapped in a world about which we know nothing. Ah! Gasp! Now, Gordolf. At least we're no longer in immediate danger. So that was the paper moon there in the middle, because I remember seeing that in the Lost Room OVA. For that matter, the Zero Sail was incredibly dangerous in its own right, and so it's inverted our very existence into the negative zone. I believe it would benefit our chance of survival tremendously if we were to regroup here.
Well, there's certainly an emergency, and we do need to regroup.
Davinci, does the Shadow Border possess the ability to camouflage itself? Of course it does. This vehicle is designed to handle the void. It's got tons of features. In fact, it has optical and conceptual camouflage. It messes with all the observer's perceptions and senses. Then for the moment, we needn't worry about danger finding us from the outside. That, of course, does not account for possible problems from the inside.
Why do we only have one blanket per person? Why are we so stingy with the heat? Don't you realize it's getting colder in here by the minute? Do you want us to freeze to death?
What other choice do we have, Gordolf? We gotta save all the power we can right now. Deal with it. Besides, the way things are going, we'll probably starve to death before we freeze to death, since I don't see us finding more food in this mess. When it comes to that, I bet the new director outlives us all.
Ho-ho! So you can tell how resilient I am, eh? Flattery will get you nowhere, young man. Still, I commend your keen eye, indeed. I am Music the Phoenix. It will take more than a little hunger to bring me down. I am possessed of an indomitable fighting spirit, overwhelming bravery, and tenacity.
Can I be real? I kind of love Gordolf. I love the what he brings.
With such qualities at my command, I too have no doubt that I would survive the longest of anyone here.
I believe Senpai was alluding to your excess energy reserves.
Indeed, food is but one of several problems we face. Let us take stock of our current situation.
Yeah, so yeah, 100 degrees below zero. That's the paper moon that they picked up there. So that's what that device is. So that there allows them to traverse the zero space and work on three-dimensional plane stuff. Okay. Temperature, it's exactly what Davinci said, 100 degrees below zero. No human being could survive in this. That's for our position. It looks like we're somewhere in Russia. Now, I'm gonna ask. 100 degrees. Let's go negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 73 Celsius. That, if they're going in Fahrenheit, I've actually been in colder. That's where I live. It's true.
Russia! Damn, so Holmes was right. We have literally fallen right into the Oprishniki laps. But hang on, how is that possible? I know we were adrift for some time, but how could we reach Russia from Antarctica?
Well, the Earth spins.
We would have to sail halfway around the world for that to happen. Did void space make that possible?
More or less, in world space, real-world distances have no meaning. Instead, the distance we can travel corresponds exactly to the time it takes to calculate coordinates and verify our existence. Now, take a look at the paper moon. Oh, it's round. That's a two-dimensional world map. I can see 7 locations that seem to be layered differently than the rest of the map.
So they are. I didn't notice at first, but this thing loops around itself, and you're right.
It reminds me of the 7 singularities that caused the incineration of humanity, though of course the current circumstances differ substantially. The 7 singularities exist at several different points of time, in a vertical axis. But in this time period, these 7 abnormal regions exist simultaneously, and Russia, where we are now, is one such region. So it is what I thought. They are all 7 on the world at the same time. That's a problem. Are they singularities? It's too early to tell. Given what Kirshtaria said during its transmission, I believe these regions are not the past, but...
It's so cold, but I finished looking over the shadow border. Nice work. You must have been freezing even in just a few short minutes you were out there. So how's my baby holding up? Well, frankly, it won't be possible to make repairs. For starters, we don't have a logic formula to let us withstand void space, nor do we have the armor plating we would need to carve the formula into. And, well, the engine's not in great shape after we overtaxed it. We'll need at least a little time to get it back up and running. Ugh, it's so cold. At least it's not as bad now. It should warm up a little once it gets to midday. As long as we avoid working at night, we should be able to get by with just our snowsuits. Glad to hear it. Make sure you grab a hot shower before you catch cold or anything. This is the one time you'll get to rest up as much as you want. In fact, you'd maybe prefer a hot bath? No, thank you. Hot towel will do. Really have to conserve electricity now, after all.
Good. Let's take matters one problem at a time. At the moment, our most pressing concern is the Singularity-esque location. I trust our new director has no issue with us investigating this land and correcting the problem.
New director? No, not at all. As a devoted Magecraft practitioner myself, I cannot turn a blind eye to this matter. If there is a singularity to be corrected, we must do so as a matter of course.
Furthermore, the Shadow Border's armor is damaged, and we are unable to move from our current location. In which case, one of us must venture out and find someone whom we can barter or negotiate, and arrange for a suitable replacement for our missing armor plate, and fix the singularity while they're at it.
Yeah, I've got this.
I see you are quite eager to help, Mr. Tanner, perhaps even recklessly so, but for the moment I will spare you the lecture. You may not currently have any servants capable of aiding you in battle, but you are still a master. Furthermore, you are far and away the most experienced fighter out of everyone here. At this point, you are the only one we can send to investigate this area. It will be extremely dangerous. As the administrative advisor, I'm ashamed I must ask this of you.
Then, will you be escorting Senpai as his bodyguard, Holmes?
Naturally. I will do so to the best of my ability. Field work is, of course, one of my many specialties. Now, regarding your mystic code...
Wait! That won't do at all!
Director Gordolph?
Holmes, you're one of our precious few fighters. As the only servant capable of handling this situation, I forbid you from leaving this vehicle. This armored car is the last bastion of humanity itself. There must be a combat-ready servant here ready to defend it. So you were to stay here and do exactly that, Holmes. Understand? There's a direct order from your commander.
Oh, if it's just a servant you need, there's another one right here, you know. Or have you already forgotten about me and my genius?
You're not a real servant. You're just an imitation who's lost any combat ability you may have once had. Holmes is the only real fighter we have, and we can't afford to send him out into a dangerous area we still know nothing about. Tanner, during our investigation, you adamantly refused to cooperate with us, correct? Each and every time we asked you if a certain report was all made up, you insisted you lot never actually saved the world. All you said was Chaldea fulfilled its mission admirably. Not bad for a youngster like yourself, indeed. I commend your attitude. As such, I see no problem whatsoever with my plan. You're a proven warrior, as you demonstrated by repairing the past singularities. What sort of director would I be if I didn't trust a proven master? A poor excuser one, that's what. And so I am placing my implicit trust in you. So listen up, we are to go on this expedition alone. The rest of us will relay instructions to you from this operations room.
But you can't make Senpai handle this alone.
Does that mean you are withdrawing the testimony you provided to the Inquiry Board? Were your claims that Chaldea had not been sitting around merely twiddling its thumbs the last 2 years no more than lies?
I'll go, of course I'll go.
Indeed, both Mr. Tanner and the new director are correct. The Shadow Border's destruction would mean the end of humanity itself. It is indeed important that we investigate this area, but we must concentrate the bulk of our efforts on keeping the Shadow Border and the Paper Moon safe. Therefore, I will remain to guard the Shadow Border and do whatever I can to aid the expedition from here. All that said, the fact remains that it would also be quite reckless to send Mr. Tanner out on his own. It is 100 degrees below zero out, and there's no telling what else may be lying in wait.
I know that. I won't send him out without a buddy. Let's see, one of you called me an old man. What was his name again? Satay? Piccata?
Oh, crap. It's the cookie method that uses butter and lemon juice. Oh, Meunier. Nice. It too, Tanner?
That's it! Meunier! Meunier! Get your armaments in order. You'll be joining Tanner on his expedition.
I knew it. Why me?
You're an operator. Your job is to man the controls and keep an eye on the monitors. Now that the border is parked, this is simply the best way for you to make yourself useful. Besides, if worse comes to worse, I know someone who can fill in as the driver.
I mean, you're not wrong, but damn it, I guess I've got no choice. Wait. I'll go with Senpai. I believe that would be the best possible option. For one thing, I have even fewer ways to be useful here than Mr. Meunier does. And I can also fight for brief periods, just like I did at Chaldea. I guess it's true, but
I'm afraid that is a course of action I cannot support. What about you, Davinci?
I hate to say it, but I do think Tanner will need a companion. And Mash is an old hand when it comes to investigating unexplored areas by now. As long as she agrees not to engage in combat as a servant unless absolutely necessary, and to focus solely on providing support. She's the best partner Tanner could ask for. It's not my place to try and stop her. Hey, Mash. Yes, Senpai? Let's go explore this place together. Of course, Master. I'll be happy to accompany you on this expedition. Good, good. Fortunately, I expected something like this might happen one day, so I suppose this is as good a time as any to show you the mystic code I made for exploring polar regions. Here you go, Tanner. And Mash, here's a snowsuit I made just for you.
Excellent. Then be off with you. Whatever you do not throw your lives away, understand? If you must die, make sure that you find a valuable lead before you do so.
Seriously, you really need to work on your goodbyes.
What? What's wrong with that? I thought it was quite the encouraging speech.
Wow, you are serious. You're noble through and through, aren't you? I'm amazed you managed to survive this long without dying in solitude. Did you just luck out and get a really good mate or something?
No, I've never experienced solitude once in my life. My tutor, Tutor the Fourth, was so strict, she'd barely leave me alone. Oh, what an impudent little familiar. Funny you acted as cute as you look.
Hey, I'll take a mystic code. That must be that. Hey, we got a battle. Oh, power. Oh, jeez. Power down, huh? Does it actually like... Oh god, and she has none of that. She's not even my full level. I just realized the class is anti-evil. That's hilarious. Why is it on that one? Oh, because it's the icon? That's strange. Why is it like that? Don't be like that. Is there anything new here? Lord Camelot just got updated, and after passing through the 7 singularities and overcome in battle, she's become a proper human being and full-fledged servant. The virtual noble phantasm, Lord Caldius, the true name of which she is still unable to learn, is the wish that exists at the bottom of her heart. The wish to see the future humanity. The battle to stop the incineration of humanity. Oh, well, this is, yeah, after, or before. The beast of the stars silently watches over her. Interesting. As for this, let's switch this off for... probably this for, if it's just her, would be the best one. I have no clue how we're going to get through this, then, if we just have her. There we go. It can't hurt to wear a snowsuit over your Arctic Mystic coat. Not that it's going to do good when it's a freaking 100 degrees below out there. Listen, I know what Gordolf said, but make sure you don't go taking any unnecessary risks. Just take it easy and focus on staying alive first and foremost. It'd be a hell of a waste if I died now, after all. Right? There's all sorts of fun things out there just waiting for you to experience. I knew you had potential, Tanner. Once this is all taken care of, you'll have to come check out my hometown sometime. You haven't lived until you've seen France, you know. Ah, you're French! Well, I mean, okay. I guess I should have seen that coming. Oh, and Mash, I don't want you overdoing it either, got it? I know that you really helped us out back at Caldia, but the fact is, you've got serious limits as a demi-servant, so if you encounter any hostiles, you just focus on keeping your distance. All the more if Tanner's in a tight spot. Whatever it takes, you two better make it back here alive. We will. Thank you, Mr. Meunier. Oh, and Tanner, you take this.
Yeah, this the boombastic, the fantastic. It's my boombox.
Listen up, we're going to investigate the surrounding area first. Once we find something of interest, we'll let you know and tell you where to go. If you can manage to secure a ley line, you should be able to summon servants again. As for power, you'll just have to make do somehow. Maybe take advantage of a natural phenomenon. Natural phenomenon? I bet Davinci and Holmes will figure something out. You're the one who took care of all those singularities. I don't have to tell you what an accomplishment that is. You've met at least 1 or 2 servants who are crazy enough to answer a summon no matter the circumstance. So as long as you can get the bare minimum of energy into that spirit origin graph, you ought to be able to summon at least 1 servant. You probably won't be able to get a really strong one, though. Our magical energy supply here doesn't hold a candle to Caldia's. But even so, any heroic spirit you can get to help you would be a godsend at this point, so do what you gotta to make that happen.
Got it. Sounds good, dude.
Honestly, I have no idea what's coming. The doctor's gone, and so's more than half our staff. I never thought things could get worse than they were back in Orleans. But here we are, and just like back then, you're our only hope, Tanner. Good luck.
You can count on me!
I know we can. Oh, and if it's not asking too much, try to find some fish. Do that and I'll treat you to some of the best home cooking you've ever had.
Oh, cute!
It's like the Saber Parka. But better. I'm all set too, Master. Let's go. That's adorable. I love it. Shoutouts to Fate characters in large cloaks. What a blizzard. Fu, why are you here? Fu, are you going to be okay in this cold? He's burrowed in my coat. Nuzzled in my bosom. We keep each other warm. Foo. Testing, testing. Hello, can you guys hear me? You can. Great. Looks like we've got comms working. Not sure what kind of range we'll get in this storm, though. Now then, the first order of business will be to look for a ley line. Here's what I'm thinking. Start by heading north, then turn east. If you still haven't found a ley line after a while, then you can continue west. Once that's done, come back to the shadow border before you check out the south. What do you think of that? Any thoughts to share? Am I doing a better job than, me? You know, you're the same dependable Davinci you always were. Just less hot. For anyone who shouldn't be in jail, at least. Great, glad to hear it. Alright, I'll be checking in every 5 minutes, so if you stop hearing from me, that's your cue to turn around and head back. Got that, you two? Got it. Understood, Davinci.
Oh, let me be clear about one more thing. If you encounter any locals, leave the negotiations to us. Even over comms, I can cast a simple charm spell to win over any ordinary person you wanted to.
Really? Over comms, too? That's crazy.
Maybe we shouldn't use that as a last resort, Director? Charm spells do work quickly, but their effects also wear off rapidly as well. There'd be no way of knowing when our unwitting collaborator might return to their senses. As such, I believe it would both be safer and wiser for you to employ your natural charms here. Should we encounter any locals, I believe the best thing to do would be for Mr. Tanner to initiate the negotiations. Once both parties have reached mutual understanding, we can then have them come to the border.
I see. Indeed, my own natural charisma would be the surest way to succeed. Very well, we shall use your plan then. Davinci, is there any pomade to be found in this car? I'll need to make sure my hair is perfect for the occasion. First impressions are everything after all.
Sure, I can whip something up that'll do the trick. Damn, Holmes, you played him like a fiddle.
Well, I am the world's greatest detective. Besides, I wasn't being entirely untruthful. Gorloff does have a certain dignity, that sort that comes from being raised in a distinguished family. And that is something that Mr. Tanner can and should do without.
Foo-foo! Okay, Master, let's start heading north. This blizzard really does go as far as the eye can see. And it seems the temperature has dropped even lower since we left. Yeah, it's real cold! Are we gonna have to snuggle? Only cold, eh? You have my amazing mystic coat to thank for that. The temperatures you're experiencing right now can freeze hot water or turn a banana hard enough to use as a hammer. Okay, that's enough heading north. Now try going east. Understood. Okay, Master, let's head east. Walking on east. Master, take a look at that! At what? All I see is snow. That doesn't look like the bands of light we saw in the singularities. What could that be? A skyscraper? A tower? Tree? Whatever it is, it's certainly enormous. What was that noise? Davinci? Yep, I'm detecting a hostile from here. Looks like a low-rank phantasmal, maybe a demonic beast? Just one of them, but it's headed your way from the east. It looks to be spoiling for a fight. Got it. Let's get out of here, Mash. Yes, Master, let's head south. Woo! Oh, what's that roar? I'm picking up new hostiles at Tanner's 12 and 9 o'clock. And another one at 6. They're surrounded. Ugh. Oh god, now there's 6 more. That cry earlier must have signaled the others. They just keep coming.
So they know to surround their prey. These creatures would appear to understand how to hunt. Which means there's an established ecosystem even in this frigid world. That is a matter for later. Mr. Tanner, Davinci, I'm sorry to ask you to break the rules off right off the bat. Miss Curialite, I trust you know what to do. Make your way through the demonic beast to the south and return here at once.
What's going to happen if you lead a huge pack of demonic beasts here? Remember, the shadow border is at the very last bastion of humanity.
Oh boy, every time. At any rate, I'll find the weakest link in their formation and try to break through. Master, your orders, please. Don't push yourself. Yes, Master. Yes, she's literally powered down to be weaker. Oh, this sucks. Oh, this is tough. Okay. I'm kind of surprised at the way that... I'm kind of surprised at the way... Also, hey, these guys are just recolors. How can I put this? I'm surprised at how MASH's role is not what I thought it would be. There is, like, the fact that MASH, you know, died is actually turning into, like, a problem, and she can barely keep it together. Which is really interesting, because I thought, oh hey, she's all good now, but now it's like I can barely turn into a servant. Like, and when I'm doing it, I am severely, like, nerfed. Chilled poison? I don't know, how do you even chill poison? Once they get their stuff there, I'm gonna put on the invincible. It's the best way, for sure. Okay. I'm gonna pop on... Oh! Alright. Just had to not die. Sounds good. Okay, let's get out. Follow me. Yes, Master. We need to make our escape while we can. MASH? Gunshots?
A gun!
A rifle, in the point of fact. Judging by the sound, one wielded by would seem a skilled marksman. Consider they incapacitated the beast with a single shot to the head. Well done. Take this. I don't know who this is still. Are you guys nuts? What are you thinking, running right into the middle of a Kershat pack? Huh? Oh! Okay! Okay. Okay. Furry in a tanner hat, furry in a tanner hat, furry in a tanner hat, furry in a tanner hat. Alright, okay. When you said the Empire of Beasts, I didn't think they meant literally. Guess you guys came here from the capital looking for 78, but you're not going to have much more luck out here in the boonies either. What the? Werewolf? What the hell are you guys? Why is your skin so smooth? Wait, please, wait. We just want to talk. Wait a second, are you guys mages? Huh? Damn it. Come on, follow me. Kershat are cowards. If you stick around too long, they'll call more friends and overwhelm you. You just hefted that huge demonic beast like it was nothing. Come on, move it. Oh, that when they said that humanity take a divergent evolution, they weren't kidding. Right, I'll bring up the rear, Master. Let's turn tail and run. Damn it, the Kershat are restless today. What do you guys do to get them so worked up? I don't know. Come on, keep moving. Otherwise, the Kershat will have you for dinner. Unless their noises attract a Divaltron first. I'm sorry, what's a Divaltron? A giant serpent with multiple heads that can wipe out an entire village easy as you like. Don't you guys know anything? Oh, we're new to town in this secluded world? Okay, we're here. Birdman. Damn it, the Ophelia are on patrol. They'll collect my kill as taxes. Listen up, don't let any other Yaga see you. They're always looking for some more sacrifices for the Ophelia. Ophelia? We got just somewhere to hide. Huh? What's with you guys? I see how it is. The Ophelia are after you guys. Come with me. An enemy of the Ophelia is a friend of mine. I think I can help you out if you have something to offer in return. Master? Let's ask for his help. You Kolden have less pride than I thought.
Well, whatever. Let's just take it nice and easy. Hey, if it isn't Patsy! Try to stay out of sight. You smell that weird scent too? Is it coming from those two? It's coming from this demonic beast, obviously. Didn't bleed it out properly. No leisure for the poor, huh? You sure you're gonna make it through the winter like that? Guess you're not worried about yourself, huh? Nope. Got plenty stored away. You ever find yourself running low on food, how about I sell you some on the cheap? But you will have to tell me where your best hunting grounds are. I'll think about it. See you around. Hey, your little friends there wouldn't be out the rebel army, would they? Because if they are, you know I've got to report them to the Opportunity. Saw's decree and all. Those guys turn out to be with the rebel army. I'm gonna tell the Opportunity you and I are best of friends. Come on, cut that out. We're not friends. We barely know each other. You sure about that? Because we've been having a good long talk for a while now. Can't you feel everyone else watching us? Damn it! You got me good, you fox. Alright, let's hurry and get to my house before anyone else comes sniffing around. Good. The Opportunity still don't know you're here. Thank you, Burman. Don't need your thanks. Just give me something as compensation. It's all about bartering, right? Something, huh? What should we do, Senpai? Would information suffice? What the hell is that? Magecraft-based communication. Since you realize those two are mages, I assumed your kind would possess a deep knowledge of magecraft. But judging from your response, it appears that your kind only have ever heard of magecraft. Am I correct? Oh, so it's not actually real. I assure you it is. I am speaking to you in person, albeit from a great distance. Now, as I was saying, if we possess any information that may be of use to you, we are happy to provide it. Don't suppose you know of any good hunting grounds, do ya? If the location of the Kerchat nest would suffice, then yes, we found a number of them. Kerchat nests, huh? Nice, those things are pushovers. Pushovers? Those? Oh yeah, you can actually kill them as long as you shoot them or hit them hard enough. Way better than those demonic beasts who just won't die. Very well, I'm prepared to share the locations of those Kerchat nests. So first, I would appreciate you telling us everything you would know about this place. For introductions first, what's your name? My name, huh? They say that if you ever tell a Colden your name, you'll be cursed. Excuse me, what are these Colden? I can tell you mean us, but beyond that, it means mage. I've never seen one myself before, but there's a whole bunch of them in the Imperial family, right? And again, Colden or not, you don't seem like much of a threat. I doubt you could curse anyone if you tried. Never been very good with curses. Alright, my name's Patsy. Patsy? Patsy? I think it's Paxy? I think it's Patsy. Now, who are you guys? I'm Mash Light. Sherlock Holmes. And I'm Tanner. You have my hat, sir. Mash, Sherlock, and Tanner, huh? Alright, now what are you guys? If the Opportunity are after you, does that mean you're with the Rebel Army? Rebel Army? Hang on, we're not... Oh god, where do I begin? Now, calm yourself, my dear Watson. Allow me to do the explaining. First, we have a few questions of our own. I don't think so. First, you need to answer my... What year is it right now? Huh? Holmes is right. That's the first thing we need to confirm. It isn't abnormally cold even for Russia. It can't possibly be the Russia we know. That could mean we're in a different time period, just like the singularities. I don't know why you're asking such a stupid question, but fine. It's 2020. What about it? Okay. Yep. I see. What about that enormous storm? It appears to be nothing so much as a solid wall composed of incredibly powerful wind. Is that normal? Hell no, it's not. Been living here in Russia for 20 years and I've never seen anything like it before. It's true what they say about the world getting closed off. It would seem that it is. As of right now, the only place we can confirm actually exists is Russia. We came here from beyond Russia to see if we can't do something about it. Beyond? You mean you're from outside Russia? I don't know what they're talking about. What could he mean outside Russia? There is nothing outside Russia. Any land people could have lived on should be long gone by now. Guess they could be from the boonies, but then again, that's not Yaga either. Maybe there really are still other nations out there. Alright, I can tell you got your own stuff you're dealing with. But I'm not gonna pry, not looking for friends. So then, why's a bunch of outsiders like you on the outs with the Opportunity? Unfortunately, your guess is as good as ours. We still don't know what they really are. That being the case, we would tremendously appreciate it if you could tell us, what are those Opportunity? You're kidding me. How do you survive this long without even knowing that? The Opportunity are brutal hunters. Ivan the Terrible's personal bodyguards.
Ivan the Terrible? Wasn't he a Russian Tsar?
Yes, he was. If you know that much, the more detailed explanations can wait.
Wait a moment. Patsy just told us that this is the year 2020. If it is, why would Ivan the Terrible's bodyguard still be around? Maybe he's a servant.
A servant? You guys have some pretty bizarre questions. Ivan the Terrible's alive and well. He's been around for almost 500 years and he's the oldest Yaga of them all.
What? I take it the Yaga are your kind?
That's right. Geez, the outsiders really don't know anything, do you? How the hell do you all survive this long being this ignorant? You all been living under a rock for the last few hundred years or something? And again, they do say this kind of ignorance is common for mages.
Would you tell us about your history?
I can only give you a real brief overview. You do know about the Great Cold Wave that happened 450 years ago, right? The new ice age they say happened after a meteor struck the planet. Once that hit, Earth turned into an ice planet. Got so cold that the old species, the humans, couldn't survive here anymore. They say that none of the other countries were able to handle the cold, so their populations died out.
Okay. You're saying that Canada died out from the cold? Buddy. I could step outside right now and it'll be as cold in that game as it is in this game. Come on.
The Russians have always dealt with the cold, so we had it better here. But even so, we lost about 90% of our population. And we nearly lost the whole damn country. So before that could happen, Ivan the Terrible and a mage developed a plan. We, the Yaga, are the result.
Does that mean you're a mixture of demonic beast and human?
What the? Who are you, and why are you so tiny?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just a passing genius doing as geniuses do. So the people of Russia were combined with demonic beasts via some kind of magecraft. Do I have that right?
Yeah, got it in one. Not that I remember any of it myself, though. I've been a Yaga my whole life. This is my first time ever seeing the old human species.
I see. That explains quite a lot. Thank you, Paxi.
Now, who are you guys anyway?
I'm Tanner. We're members of the Caldia Security Organization. It's our job to ensure the preservation of humanity.
I have even more questions.
Basically, we're here to save the world.
Huh, well, ain't that something? So, you like a bunch of idiots or something, then?
I understand how fantastic that must sound, but I assure you we are deadly serious.
Well, whatever. Whatever nutty plan you guys got up your sleeve. If it'll shake things up around here, I'm all for it. After all, you're the first outsiders I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, do you a favor and forget I ever heard your nonsense. Let's hurry up with the hunting grounds info.
Very well then, show me a map and I will tell you where to go.
Better not be pulling my tail about this. Alright, this is our town here.
So this is Yaga Smolensk. And this city far up north, northeast must be Yaga Moscow. In that case... This spot here is one of the best hunting grounds I discovered earlier.
So you guys know I may hate the Opportunity, but I hate liars even more. Now stay put till I get back, got it?
Don't worry, we'll hold down the fort while you're gone.
Good, but don't go touching my food. I'm saving it all to make it through the winter.
Looks like he's gone to check out those hunting grounds. By the way, Holmes, can I pick your brain for a moment?
What is this place? Why have humans been combined with demonic beasts? That violates one of the Magecraft's strictest taboos. Is this what all singularities are like?
It would hardly be unusual for one. What is abundantly clear is that this is not our own history. Still... What is it, Master? Something seems different about this. Regardless, we now know that the opportunity you two must face is Ivan the Terrible, a version of him who has somehow managed to survive for approximately 500 years, strange as that may sound. The Opportunity were indeed Ivan the Terrible's personal bodyguards. Now then, Goldoff, allow me to ask you something.
Yes, what is it, Holmes?
Are you certain the Opportunity you defeated was not, in fact, human?
Oh, yes, absolutely. He dissolved into nothing once I soaked him with a good golf punch. From the look of it, I guess he was a familiar of some sort.
I concur. I too sense nothing human about them during my own skirmishes. Originally, the Opportunity were a corps of soldiers established by Ivan the Terrible himself. It is said they dressed completely in black, carried dog heads and whips made from bristling animal pelts, and only rode black horses. Their job was to eradicate the Tsar's enemies. It is said that they would set upon their opponents like dogs and clean them out as swiftly as a broom gathering dust. They swore absolute loyalty to the Tsar and committed all manner of unspeakable atrocities in his name, but none of them became heroic spirits. As Gordolf surmised, they are familiars belonging to Ivan the Terrible. Make them maybe with his noble phantasm? Those are certainly the two most likely possibilities. The terror the Opportunity wrought swept throughout all of Russia, after all. It is quite possible that creating them could have been a skill or a noble phantasm he possesses. And if the Opportunity are still terrorizing all of Russia, does that mean Ivan the Terrible is the servant responsible for the attack on Chaldea? Oh right, he isn't a servant. He's flesh and blood just like Nero was. Nonetheless, we have far too few options available to us at this point. As such, our first order of business should be to secure a ley line. Well, as luck would have it, I detected something that looked an awful lot like a ley line back when, Tanner and Mash were making their escape with Paxi. Unfortunately, it is quite a ways from your current position. It'd be extremely risky for the two of you to head there alone.
Well then, I just have have that third freak take you there.
There has to be something in it for Paxi, though.
We don't have time to think about that. That thing may stain.
Oh, you're racist against them, which is, you should, okay.
The moment these creatures can buy themselves demonic beasts, they cease to be human.
Either way, we should wait for Paxi to come back. We may not be able to convince him to take us, but maybe at least tell us about a safe path. Looks like I found myself a real bunch of weirdos. I'd only ever heard about the old species in legends. Seeing how weak they are in person, it's a wonder they survived as long as they did. I guess technically they're our ancestors. Maybe that's why I never thought to eat them. You can always leave them to fend for themselves if they haven't done it, if they don't have anything to offer. Looks like they know a way to a whole bunch of good hunting grounds. More than anything, they're new. I've never seen anything like them before in my life. Most Yaga wouldn't be comfortable with that, but oddly enough, it doesn't bother me at all. I notice things like that put me at odds with the other Yaga. Oftentimes I'll find myself thinking, asking myself questions like, why do we have to be strong? Why is it wrong to be weak? And why are we always starving for something, never feeling satisfied? Whenever anyone hears me, they just laugh and tell me I'm a fool and ask why I'd waste my time thinking about meaningless crap. I know it's meaningless just as much as anyone. I wish I could stop myself from thinking about these things too, but...
Hey, Bexy.
What is it?
Are you going hunting?
So what if I am?
Sorry, but those hunting grounds belong to the town.
Why do you think I only hunt the strays?
Those stray demonic beasts belong to the town too. Not that any of the straying off anyway, since the spot's been closed down.
That's so, fine, I'll just have to find somewhere else to hunt, won't I? I glared at the jackass as I turned around and headed off in the opposite direction from the sealed-off hunting grounds. It's not just him, the other Yaga are all keeping their eyes on me too, making sure I don't go messing up their territory. Some demonic beasts are easier to hunt than others. The Kurchat tend to be on the harder side, since they'll keep calling in reinforcements till you're overwhelmed. There are some places that's manageable. Like, say, a ravine that leads to a dead end. Somewhere the other Kurchat can't hear their pack mates' cries for help. Yaga have taken advantage of that and set up hunting grounds to make it easy to harvest demonic beasts. May not compare to what I hear in the old times were like when they used to breed enough domesticated beasts on farms for everyone to eat. But nowadays, hunting grounds like that, where you can hunt in safety and rest easy knowing the beasts will multiply again over and over, are lifelines for us. Which is why it only takes getting labeled as a weakling once for everything goes south. It doesn't take long for a Yaga to die if we don't get enough to eat. This town is ruthless about seeing the runt of the litter cut loose. The whole town makes it a point to eliminate nearby villages, curry favor with the Tsar, and kowtow to the Opportunity. They know about the Yaga's ironclad law, that only the strong may eat and use it maliciously against us. I know I'm skating on thin ice myself, but there's nothing I can do about it. Can't defy the Tsar. I've got no choice but to run from the Opportunity. But if these humans I've met really are mages, and they really do end up saving the world, maybe that'll help this constant ache in my chest go away, even a little. Of course, I don't know if I can even trust them. I keep jumping every time. Well, I'll be damned. I can't remember the last time I killed this many. With a haul like this, I could even scrape by after they pick me clean for taxes.
Betsy! What is it? You're looking flush today, aren't ya? It's about my taxes, right? Here, take it. Yep, that takes care of you. What about your mother's taxes? Hey, it's no fur off my snout. The old lady's not pulling the weight anymore. And you know as well as I do that this town doesn't need any Yaga who can't hunt. Honestly, I don't even know why you bother paying her share. Doesn't make a damn lick of sense. None of your business. Here, there's my mother's share. This town has no use for my mother anymore. She's well aware of that, so all she does now is wait around to die. Waiting for the time when she finally starves to death. Who is it? Who's this? Here's some meat. I'll just leave it here.
Oh, thank you. I don't know how I can repay you.
Don't worry about it.
My husband and son will be home soon. Why don't you stay and eat with us?
No thanks. He doesn't even recognize my face anymore. They say it happens a lot once a Yaga gets up there in the years. They say their memories get fuzzy, so they start clinging to them more and more until they end up living the rest of their lives in a fantasy world. There's no point in keeping my mom alive anymore. I should just let her die and become one with the earth. It's not like she'll be of any help to me when she's still kicking. Only the strong have a right to eat, and she hasn't been strong for a long time. So then why do I keep helping her like this? I'm back. Your info was good. Brought in my biggest haul in ages. I'd believe there was that good a hunting spot right near the town that nobody ever noticed before. Thanks to your tip, I've still got a bunch left over even after paying my taxes. Though I did get a few snide remarks about my haul.
Snide remarks? Why?
It's a long story. Never mind that. What other hunting grounds you got for me? Hurry up and tell me so I can go check it out. Gotta hunt while I still got the energy.
Of course, of course. Very well then, I imagine you may not have much of a response to this next question, but I must ask you nonetheless. What can you tell us about that mysterious tree?
If anything, I was hoping you guys could tell me that. What the hell is that thing?
Do you remember when it first appeared?
About 3 months ago, I'd say. Everyone was all excited when it first showed up, saying it was a miracle the Tsar formed for us, but never actually gave us anything useful. The Opportunity don't react to it either, so all I really know is it's just a big damn tree. We done now, because I want to check out those other hunting grounds. Well,
just a moment. Now that we know the full extent of the situation, I'm afraid that the information was insufficient.
Come on, I don't have anything else I can trade you. Unless you're after my gun. You can have that over my dead body.
Nope, it's not that. We want a kite.
Kite?
All you have to do is collect some materials. I can tell you what we need right now if you'd like. Now that I have a clear picture of your people's technological and cultural progress, I'm quite certain you should have little trouble finding them.
Alright, as long as I don't have to leave town.
Thank you. I commend your decisiveness. Good show, Paxi.
What do you want with a kite, Holmes? Shouldn't we have traded for food first?
The punchy one is right. It's been too long since I've had a decent cut of roast beef.
Not at all. Food's crucial too, but as they say, safety first. And that's what you're going for, right, Holmes?
Indeed. It would require quite a bit of brute strength, but be taking a page from Benjamin Franklin's books.
I see where you're going with this. You want to connect it to the briefcase.
I do.
Are you trying to generate power?
Precisely. If you are to summon his servants again, you will need that spirit origin briefcase, power, and a ley line.
That's barbaric. Why, it's downright primitive.
Not at all. That briefcase was originally designed to be usable even in areas without electricity. All Tanner needed to do to make use of it is draw a summoning circle on a ley line and wait for a single bolt of lightning to strike.
Man, I really am a genius, aren't I? I doubt there's anyone in all of history who could have made the summoning system this streamlined. Being me is awesome.
Alright, so when is the next thunderstorm?
A forecast says tomorrow. Suffice to say that his time is not on our side. I'm afraid we must get this kite ready to fly before the end of the day. Now then, Mr. Tanner, have you ever made a kite before?
Nope.
I suspected as much. That you did not secretly while away the hours making kites was not a difficult deduction to make. But not to worry, Davinci and I are both here to help. If our interests hadn't led us elsewhere, we could have easily been professional toy makers in our own right.
There you go. They're all real easy to find. Are you going to tell me about the other hunting grounds?
Of course. I'm pleased to make an equitable trade.
This one's far. Probably take me a day to get there. Alright, you guys stay put. Don't go outside. Don't eat anything besides the food I gave you.
See you later, Paxi.
Man, it feels weird getting a send-off. Alright then, now it's time for arts and crafts. Remember, without this kite you will not be able to summon servants. It is no exaggeration to say that the very fate of the world hinges upon this kite. This may be the most important arts and crafts project in the history of mankind, no pressure.
No, not that one. Yeah, that one. Yes, you're supposed to cut that one. Not there. Oh, this is so frustrating. I'm sorry, Davinci, but it's not always easy to understand what you mean.
No, not there. How is this kite supposed to fly? Cut that.
No, that's correct. The next line needs to be on the opposite side.
Really? I never knew there was so much to kite making. I thought you stuck some poles to fabric like a tent, and the whole thing just flies.
There's some water, Senpai. Just relax and take it nice and easy. I have to say, though, this is kind of fun. I only hope it ends up flying well. I can bend the wire we're using for the kite's frame, Senpai. I am a demi-servant, after all. Don't be silly. In your normal form, you're even weaker than Tanner is. Oh, right.
Well, that's good to know.
That took a lot longer than I thought it would.
Well, this is an unfortunate turn of events. I can already hear the rumble of thunder nearby. The kite's design should be fine, but we still don't know whether it will fly in this world. The world is enveloped by a raging storm, after all. There's no telling how violently the winds may be blowing at high altitudes. Nonetheless, the kite's frame should be sturdy enough to accommodate extreme conditions. At this point, we have done all we can.
Light thunder lightning. Storm, snowstorm, snow thunder. Wait, that was the last part. It might have been a long and winding road to get here, but at least we've got here. Now for the most important touch. What sort of picture should we draw on it? Damn it, Davinci, I'm a master, not an artist. What? But I was all set to paint a Virtuvian good enough to be put on the Voyager. Voyager, huh?
Stop that, you'll frighten the locals half to death.
Oh yeah, Vitruvian man, they would,
just scribble some ASCII expression on it and be done with it.
Well, now I'm impressed you know about that. True, it is important to retain one's sense of playfulness.
What ASCII art will we do?
Miss Curiolite, would you do the honors of drawing something?
Of course, art design is one of my specialties. Don't worry, Master. I'll make sure it's a glamorous kite that will make everyone sit up and take notice.
I hope it's like ASCII art. I hope it is.
Well, it's certainly one of a kind. Show it to me. I'm sorry, I did my best to convert your face into a Euclidean plane, Master. I'm afraid it didn't go well.
I like it, has a unique charm about it, and it should serve to ward off evil spirits. Now, you'd best be underway. I'm afraid we don't have time to wait for Paxi to return.
Just gotta sneak on through. Oh god. I've never been in a thunder snowstorm. I'll leave him a note letting him know where we are. Okay, Master, let's sneak out of here. There are a lot more people. I mean, Yaga here than I thought there'd be. Oh, what was that sound?
Anastasia, where are you, Anastasia?
I'm here, my Tsar.
Ah, my Empress, my beloved wife. Tell me, is Russia at peace?
Of course it is, my Tsar. The Oprichniki are fighting hard all throughout the land in order to spread your glory far and wide. Please rest, do not be troubled.
I see. So Russia's at peace. That makes 200 years of peace in Russia. What about the outside? I must spread my glory beyond Russia's borders. I must share it with those from other lands who can only shiver in the cold, waiting for their ends. Tell me, how fares Europe and the Far East?
They too are at peace, my Tsar. Europe has bowed to your will, and negotiations in the Far East are proceeding apace. The war is over, and Russia will have their allegiance soon.
I see, that is good. No, that is not good at all. Peace alone is not enough. I must proceed with renewed vigor and expand my domain. I must unite the world and ensure its happiness.
Amadeus. Oh! Amadeus Alter. He's got a mask on.
Very well.
So sleepy. Am I dreaming?
Good night, my Tsar. May your repose be blessed with sweet dreams. I like how for Amadeus Alter they just give him a mask, and it's like, yep, that's good enough. Did you get Ivan's attack under control? Yes, he is sleeping soundly now thanks to Mozart's piano. Even though the Tsar is from a Lostbelt, the musical arts seem to have an oddly powerful effect over him. I'm even feeling a bit sleepy myself now. Good, we need him to stay asleep for the time being. We can't have him finding out what's really going on and heading out on a campaign. That'd be the worst possible scenario. We must first be certain that his rule extends throughout the Lostbelt before we do anything else. Then I will entrust him to Amadeus for a while and deal with the rebels myself. The mere thought that there is a rebellion taking place fills me with revulsion. No, not an option. There's no way Amadeus alone can keep this Tsar pacified. If he starts really acting up, even I couldn't say what might happen. And I can't stand that. Much as is possible, I want to eliminate any chance of surprise from my attack. When I need your help, I'll make sure to call for you after the Tsar has been safely secured. As you wish, you are my master and I am your servant. I will trust in your judgment. Thanks, that'll be a big help.
Pardon me. I hope I'm not interrupting your pillow talk.
I'd watch your tongue if I were you, Metropolitan Macarius. What the hell does that mean? You may be the Tsar's mentor, but I am still a member of the Imperial family and will not tolerate such uncouth remarks.
You wound me, Grand Duchess. I have nothing but the highest respect for every member of the Russian Imperial family, no matter what sort of family they may be or what sort of end the Grand Duchess may have met.
How dare you? Wait, both of you stand down. I don't want to see any infighting. We don't have time for it anyway. Father, your job is to placate the Tsar, right? Then quit following the Grand Duchess around and hurry up with the repairs to the cathedral. Or do you have something urgent to tell us? Did something happen with one of the other Lostbelts?
Of course, this is very urgent, Crypto number 1. Today is your lucky day. You finally have a chance to prove yourself in battle.
You're kidding me. They already showed up?
They have. There's been a disturbance on the outskirts. Their shadow border has emerged here in our own Russia. We haven't pinpointed their exact location yet, though. Still, this is their first Lostbelt. It will take them at least several days to fully comprehend how this world works, and I believe now would be the perfect time to eliminate them while they are still regaining their balance.
I don't want to leave the Tsar's side right now. I'll leave the Opportunity to handle them. Besides, Koyanskaya is the one who let them get away in the first place. Why not make her take care of them? Or are you gonna do it yourself? That might give you a chance to be useful for a change.
Oh no, I couldn't. Unfortunately, the Tsar's condition worries me as well, so I would rather not stray too far from Yaga Moscow. As for Miss Koyanskaya, she may well be to blame for this little predicament, but she too is quite hard at work at the moment. I believe her work is of a rather private nature. It is very much in line with her hobbies.
Hobbies? She's supposed to be leading the Opportunity. What else could she be up to? Kadok, I'm told that woman has been going around distributing food to the Yaga at exorbitant prices. So exorbitant that they're forced to rob their neighbors of everything they have, even to have a hope of purchasing it. I can't believe her. We come all this way and she's still going around picking on the weak. Father, I don't like you, but I can understand you. I believe you are genuinely dedicated to keeping Russia safe from harm. But Koyanskaya, I can't make heads or tails of what she's thinking, or what she really wants to do. I mean, unlike you, she can come and go between Lostbelts as she pleases whenever she pleases, right? Why can't we make her go to the one that's a little more civilized? She doesn't need to stick around a destitute world like this one.
I'm afraid not. She's not one to change her behavior, no matter where she finds herself. In one sense, her actions stem from a love for humanity. That includes driving the weak into tight spots, sneering at them and stepping on them. She will never oppose us or the Cryptors. It's best to think of her as a difficult mercenary who will get the job done as long as you can pay for her services. All that said, I do agree that she's been acting a little too freely. Very well, then I will speak to her and tell her to restrain herself when she is in Russia. That should ensure she follows your commands as well. Does that suit you, Master of the Grand Duchess?
Fine with me. If she's going to call herself a mercenary, I won't hesitate to use her like one. The Oprichniki aren't going to die as long as Ivan keeps dreaming. Tell Koi and Sky to make sure she finishes off Chaldea's leftovers for good this time. They're only human, so they're bound to stop by a town sooner or later. Have her keep an eye on one of the major ones and take them out as soon as she finds them.
Understood. I must really point out, though, how terrible a thing it is for you to say that of one of your former comrades, Cadox and Lupus.
Lupus! That's hilarious! Oh my god, Lupus! Lupus means wolf in Latin. Shut up.
And here I thought you were a kinder soul than that. Have these last few months been hard for you? Perhaps you should follow the Tsar's example and get some sleep yourself.
I'll admit that I've been pushing myself past my limits, but I'm still the same guy I always was. Like you said, Chaldea's people are my former comrades, emphasis on former. Now, as the only master in Russia, in this Lostbelt, my goal is to ensure it comes out on top. I'm gonna pull off something a master from proper human history could never. I have to.
Well, it's good to see you're in such high spirits. Pushing oneself too hard is a privilege afforded only to the young, after all. Rest assured you have my full support. Cadox and Lupus, I have nothing but respect for your aspirations and for your determination. But I will offer one piece of advice. He who does not love himself can never save the world. If I were you, I would think long and hard about where that hostility of yours comes from.
Hostility, huh? So he's basically telling me to get over myself and accept that they're my rivals. Hell they are. They just got lucky, that's... Mustn't say things you really don't mean, Kadok. Even if you are only bluffing, lies like that will only eat away at you. Kadok, you weren't able to save the world. That is simply a fact and one you must accept. They accomplished something you could not. That is why you must take advantage of this new opportunity to show everyone what you really can do. This is your opportunity to show them how strong you truly are, to demonstrate why you are a cryptor, why you are one of those who was originally meant to save the world. I know, believe me, I know. I'm still trying to determine if they were actually like for serious when they wanted to be saving the world, or if they were secretly doing it for not a good thing. Uh-oh! We've been past 9 p.m. Y'all know what that means. I'm gonna have to click on that cutscene again and click skip again, huh? That's embarrassing. I just barely made it. I just missed it. It's like 2 minutes over. 2 minutes over! Well, that's sucky. Okay. Let's hop back in. Oh. I still got it. Is that the Mystic Code? Yeah, cool. Mystic Code called a Uniform the Arctic. I like it. That's good. That's good stuff. And we got new rewards too, so. Hey, I'll take that. Take that. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Gets the crystals are the ones I want now. Okay, so. Yaga Smolensk. Oh, there's so much story. Alright, guys. Oh, wow. Oh, there's a lot. Also, I don't know where Moscow is. Maybe it must come up on the map later. Alright, guys. Thank you all for watching. And next time we'll be back for some more Grand Order, Anastasia. This is the one places I never expected. Like furries. Like furries. Okay. I'll see you guys next time for some more Fate Grand Order. Ciao.
Get in your way of saving those that you